Hello, hello. We are live here, Morningwood Radio, 7:30 a.m. with your host, Hunter McIntyre.
Ryan, that was the softest entry you've done so far.
I know we got to ease the people in. It's early morning.
Jake, just because you're the
what's
first
up?
person to show up, can you just tell us what's going on in the background? I think there's
Only
a
one
bunch
on
of
time.
pine cones, and then there's a chart of leaves. And
Uh-huh.
is that a book with burgers on it in the back?
Well, yeah, I'm always doing my botany.
Where are you?
This is my house.
And you have a
This is a
botanist
corner of my
chart?
house. No. This is just a corner of my house. This is art.
Are you a
Okay.
botanist?
Yeah.
I didn't know this about you at all. You don't tell me anything about
I'm
your
not a
private
botanist.
life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I got like more plants
Yeah, you
behind
got
me.
the leaves, the pine cones in the background. This is
I had to set it up for
fascinating.
you. I actually got up at like 3:30 this morning just to set up the background to look
Did you
more
really?
interesting. Oh yeah.
Fellas,
Oh my gosh, look
There
at
it
this. This is the greatest day of my life. Rasmus
What's
is
up,
in a car
boys?
somewhere and is frozen.
And frozen.
Kyle, tell us about your workspace. Where are you?
can y'all hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay, my workspace. I got my.
That's a
You
dead
see my
duck.
a lot of dead ducks, a lot of fish. That's a 30-inch trout. You can spend your whole life looking for them. You never catch one. But yeah, and then I got that and my Girl Scout cookies, and I just daily grind for your boy.
I actually have Girl Scout cookies in the other room, and you've kind of got me all set up. Rasmus, tell us about your space.
My background?
Yeah, where are you? Is this one of those kind of workspaces where you have like a filter in the background so it looks like you're in a car, but you're really in the office?
No, this is a real car.
I know.
Yeah, no, that one's real. Well, that's my home at the moment. I don't have a home.
Kyle, you weren't around for the weekend, but Rasmus has rented out all of his cars, all of his anywhere he lives. I think he doesn't even. These aren't even his clothes that he's wearing, and I don't even know where he lives.
Well, I live right here.
So, can anybody raise their hand here who's actually done an Ironman? Oh, that's sad, guys. That's sad. Now, Jake, how many triathlons have you done, Jake? About 200?
Yeah, I've done countless, but
Yeah,
shorter ones.
But you're not an Ironman.
Yeah, I did a half.
You've done some 10-mans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no big deal. You're an aluminum foil man. When Kyle and I first became friends, he was like, "Yeah, I'm getting into triathlon." I was like, "Why would you do half of the distance that everybody else really wants to do?"
Makes
So
no
that's
sense.
how I was able to convince him to do one. And then we were all, anybody who needs context, we were all sitting after Rasmus beat me at the High Rocks, and Jake did too. We were all sitting at Outback Steakhouse, and we just started talking shit to each other, and it was a race to see who could sign up for the Ironman first.
Damn, y'all already used the joke of y'all beating Hunter in an Ironman. I was prepared to bring that up on this podcast. You already beat me to the punch.
Yeah, I know. So
Somebody's echoing.
I think I hear everyone echoing.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think it's probably,
bad.
if I had to guess, Rasmus's car.
Rasmus,
Honestly,
you can put it on
the audio
mute.
on my end is pretty crappy. I'm not gonna lie.
It's because it's on your Cricket mobile phone. And
Oh, that's why.
yeah,
Like,
it's all good.
yeah, I don't have a power out. I can't even plug my computer in the car. It doesn't really have a power, so my computer is dead.
So I'm going to try to take the narrative of this thing. We have all signed up everybody for an Ironman, and I brought these guys on because I wanted to have this be the greatest adventure of our lives. Ever since I met Rasmus, he's been trying to convince me to go to North Korea. He's tried to get me to run across a desert. He's tried to get me to the top of Everest, but now we're going to decide to do an Ironman. I met Jake on the side of the road off of a dating app, and he's been training with us, and he went to Dubai with us. And Kyle approached me at a bar, and we've been best friends ever since. Kyle came
Good
up
team.
in a Lakers tank top, and he's like, "What's up, pal?"
Alex
Like the way you look.
Caruso tank top, to be
Yeah.
specific. Shout out to Caruso. Rasmus, I think if your bottom of your speaker is resting on something, it'll stop echoing if you can put it sideways.
Do you think that's
Maybe
better
I'm
now?
wrong.
There you go.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me also thinks, Kyle, that it's your headphones.
Okay, I'm gonna try that then.
How about now?
Mm-mm.
Nothing.
Still backstory?
Okay,
Yeah.
so damn it. I don't know what we're gonna do here. Okay, guys. So first question that I have in this list. Everyone, is anyone actually planning on training for this thing? Because Rasmus has a 3-day Ironman training book.
Yeah. I'm planning on training do my own program. I obviously have to stand by whatever I sell, so like I have to kind of obviously be using what I'm promoting.
Could you tell us what the training program looks like?
I gotta be careful because it's not out yet, and I don't want people to steal my idea. But it's basically the shortest program you could ever find to get you ready for the Ironman, and also the best one.
Okay. Okay.
You want more details?
Just a little
Yes.
bit.
I think we lost Kyle too.
It's okay. Kyle will pick up on this later. You can't give him this kind of information because he might be able to beat your score.
That's true. Well, he can buy it if he wants to, obviously.
That's cool. And it's going for $10,000 just because you.
That was before High Rocks. We bumped it up to 12,000 after High Rocks finish, and now.
I mean, I already bought it. I'm signed in.
Okay. So, honestly, though, what would anybody really admit here? Like, Jake, how much time are you going to commit to this thing? Is there like Rasmus? I guess we'll come back to you in a second. You can think on this, Rasmus. We'll go to you, Jake. You're an actual triathlon guy.
Sorta.
What's your
Yeah.
time commitment on this thing? And what is a goal?
I don't know what the time commitment would be. I mean, really just start getting as many big bike rides, big runs as possible. Hope for the best. I definitely want to go under 11, maybe under 5, maybe under 10 hours.
Mr. 1056 you're talking to right here.
1056, yeah.
Yep. Kyle, let's put this into your court. Coming from Mr. 1124, or was it 1136? What was your time?
Thanks, Dick. It was significantly longer than yours. That's all I know.
But explain to us, knowing what you did the first time, some of the mistakes, some of the trials and tribulations, where would you take your training from this point on? Because I feel like you're the one who's taking this the most seriously.
All right. First of all, not true. I train for a lot of things. Been doing the triathlon thing for about 1.5 years. Give me a little leeway. But I didn't realize how many people cared about me beating you in Arizona. I didn't realize how many people cared about me in general. It was insane. There's so many people like night before got like Instagram messages like kick Hunter's ass. Come on, beat Hunter. So I was really motivated. And then I could hear you yelling at me at the bike transition after I beat you out of the water. And it was at that moment I was like, I know he's a good biker. And I saw how fast you were going on that little bike and how much you complain about those air bars, but you really were awfully comfortable. That said, I'd spend the most time on the bike. I think I'm gonna get a bike without electronics because my shifters kind of failed me in that race. And then I think I'll hang with you on the bike. That gives me about 30 minutes. I would assume I can make up just by that alone.
Can anybody read what that second line says?
Have expensive night bike.
How expensive is Kyle's
expensive.
bike? I was gonna do an over under here on I wanting everybody to guess how expensive Kyle's bike was. Because Kyle goes, not only does he buy an expensive bike, he flies to go get the bike. He gets it, he then packages it up and brings it back. Then all of a sudden he has this thing. It's so expensive, he can't figure out how to take it apart to come out and train with me. So he comes out and trains on the biggest piece of shit bike that I have. Then Kyle decides to drive from Texas all the way to Arizona, which is 20 hours with this expensive bike. Then he gets there and it breaks.
It's such a piece of shit. Just just a glorified piece of firewood at this point.
Are you gonna race it? Are you gonna race with it?
Hell no, we're done.
Really?
We're divorced, papers signed. She's gone.
You gotta back out.
Yeah, she'll sit in the garage and collect dust. But you'll answer your question. You'll never know how expensive the bike was But plane ticket and all, it's probably worth about 5 of the bikes you trained with. It was
It
terrible.
was my favorite part. We're just talking. His whole plan centered in around this bike, and everything is just going wrong. It's like buying a Ferrari that just has a permanently locked on like e-brake. He's like, I can't figure it out. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I think the bike is the biggest issue with Ironman because we all get invested in it because we see somebody else with one. I bought mine, and then I was driving on the highway, and it flew out of the back of my car. Kyle bought his, and it never even worked. So basically the two content points and contact points I have on this thing is that the bike is the biggest mistake. It's a mirage.
You just go out and get you a BMX bike. Those are
Huffy.
solid.
I think it'd be really cool if there was like a fixed gear triathlon. I think there needs to be like fixed gear bikes, like beach cruisers, no aero bars. Like just make everyone actually work for their time.
Maybe
and
unicycles.
not have to compete with technology and carbon shoes. Just like make it like
They have to hand one.
Hand cranks. Hand
crank.
I want to toss this back to Ras. So Ras, I assume that you are going to be the least prepared person, and that's not an insult. That's actually it's endearing.
Probably what's going to happen.
You want to do things this way. Tell us what your approach is going to be. Are you going to buy a bicycle? Or are you going to only train on an assault bike? Are you going to race on an assault bike?
All good question. I haven't thought of it yet. Hey, real quick, by the way, I muted myself. Did that help? Like someone was suggesting that I muted myself throughout.
Yeah.
Stop that.
You're the guy.
We found the issue. Then.
Definitely
Okay.
your fault.
Yeah. No. You say I won't be prepared, and I won't until 3 weeks before, and then when I do my program, I will be so prepared and so ready that it would just be like I'm just coming like prepared, fully shaved. I'm having the outfit on, no eyebrows, no head hair. I will be like the guy who shows up and people will just shit their pants when they see me because I'm like, that guy is prepared. I don't really know yet, like what I'm going to bike on. I don't know. Like I was going to do what Kyle kind of did. Like, man, I was like going to get a really expensive Ferrari in the terms of a bike. And that sounds like that might not have played out in his favor. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to stick to the assault bike.
Have you thought about just spending your money on a Ferrari and just sticking to the RAS plan? Zero training.
The amount of people buy my program, I can buy multiple Ferraris, so don't worry.
I agree. I will admit, for a big man, I started doing some Googling. You sit in the Clydesdale category. Do you know that you could potentially go for a Clydesdale record?
Yeah, Jake and I was talking about the other day. That is a great category, a polite way of saying fat people category. I just don't know if it actually exists, though.
No one in this room said that.
No, I mean, that's okay.
It's 220 pounds and above.
I am exotic overweight right now, and that's okay. But I don't know if that's still if it exists. It should exist because I definitely do twice as much work as Jake, and like that is just anytime he gets. If I can just finish within like double the time that he gets, like that will be a win on my end.
Yeah,
you won't even come close to that.
I try to do some Googling on the record. I'm gonna get some Googling going on here. But Ras, if I were you, I would start right from there. Try to go for the record. I'm thinking about bumping it up to try to go for the record.
What is it? 220? What do you have to?
220 and above.
It's interesting. There's like a lot of articles. I'm on one right now. And some of them say 200, some of them say 220, but I'm going off the 220 thing because that's the top of the Google search.
What is the Clydesdale division in triathlon? This division is available for triathlon only. Clydesdale is an athlete male who weighs more than 220.
There's also
do they have a picture of Rasmus right there?
I was like, what do you win if you win that division? Do you win like a weight loss course or something like that?
100%.
There's
you
a whole
get
Team USA.
You get a lifetime supplies to Slim Fast.
Is it 220 Johnson neglected body mass, or does that include? Because I could break the bank there.
Easily. I knew you were going to say something like that. I have to have a custom seat because of everything that's going on for me. Yeah. So We're talking a lot about the bike. I think the most underrated piece that I picked up in the Ironman was the running. I didn't train for it at all. And I had a woman that was half the size of me basically pace me through the entire thing. And I felt like I was dying. And then in the last 3 miles, I got passed by a woman in her mid-60s. I was basically moving at a pace that was, if you had like a radar gun, they would just say error because the pace was not readable because I was going so slow. Is anyone here planning on training for that?
That's
No, obviously.
that's the part I'm most
Hey,
concerned
but I have a
about.
quick question though. Like, what is it that make you tired? Is it like, does it hurt like knees and hips and like back, or is it what is that exactly? Because I'm actually curious. Like, what is it that like when you get to the run, what feels crappy?
It's just how taxing the whole day's been on your legs already. I mean, you just biked for 5 hours, you swam an hour and a half before that. I mean, like, and it's just as long if your nutrition's not up, like that's going to play an effect too. You're not like that fresh 26 miles. You're doing all that work beforehand, and like your body's just so broken down at that point that
You've just done
You're
an
starting-
8-hour workout beforehand, and now you're about to go do a 3-4 hour workout.
I'll be
Yeah.
real with you. The
Mm.
biggest mistake that I made was not training on one of those tuck bikes and spending 5.5 hours on that tuck bike. I don't want to badmouth Ironman. I think it's a really cool brand, but the course that we biked on was the biggest dog shit course I've ever been on my entire life.
horrible.
Like every 10 feet, you know when there's a crack in the road and then they cover it with that black paste?
Yeah.
Now imagine doing that in a hunch position every 10 feet for 112 miles. At first you don't notice it, and then it's just so jostling that it vibrates up through your elbows, up through your shoulders, into your traps, into your neck. And by the time I got off the bike, dude, I was rolling around on the ground trying to stretch out my back in like that little egg position, begging for mercy. I was begging people to crack my back. Like everyone was like, leave me alone. I was like covered in sweat and like that salt line on me. I was like, someone crack my back. And then you start running and there's this vibrating pain coming out of your spine. And not that paired with just the massive amount of fatigue, I maybe would have taken an extra half an hour off my marathon if I didn't have the pain, but not much faster than that. That would have been a perfect day.
You broke 4 hours on yours, right?
Yeah,
You
I
were
got
under
like
4 hours?
352 or something. It wasn't something that I would, write anybody a letter about and say, guess what? But fuck, man. I'm telling you guys right now, I have anxiety about that moment again. So I would either tell you guys to train and race on a bike without tuck or buy a tuck bike right now and get into it.
Yeah. Practice with your knees just bumping into your chest for 5 hours. It's just like you're so low. And it just crushes your lower back. Or it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I got one of those bikes off Facebook Marketplace.
How much you
Like
buy it for?
$800.
it's where I found my bike too.
That's basically how much yours costs, right?
Yeah, right, dude. Was there a special Facebook Marketplace for all of these entitled triathletes? Was it a Facebook group that you had to go into, and it was a $500 entry level membership just to get in and
get
look
in.
at pictures of bikes?
There were people throwing their bikes at me just to beat you, and I let them all down. So I'm gonna have a custom kit that just has one thing: beat Hunter.
I
And I'm
tried
gonna
to
spend
get.
just as much on the bike on that kit.
I texted Kyle's wife a bunch of times, and I was like, "Can you please send me pictures of Kyle?" Because Kyle pooped his pants during his first half Ironman, and I wanted pictures of Kyle like dying out there, and I was gonna put it on a shirt and show up to the Ironman in it. She never sent it, and I can't tell if that means she's a good wife or she's a distracted one.
Hunter,
Great
your
wife.
time was 3:57, bike was 5:34, and swim was 1:10.
My swim was 1:10.
Your swim shocked me.
hour 10 and
Okay.
48 seconds.
That seems slow.
I didn't train at all. I just watched Free Willy for about 10 hours.
He got 195th overall ranking, so
I should add that, Hunter. I should add that to the program maybe and just take out an optional instead of like actually the actual swim part of the session.
Send them a VHS too. Send them a VHS of Free Willy.
A link to. Yeah.
I just watched the body movements and I was like, okay. Yeah, I felt good. What was my bike? 534?
5:34.
No big deal. What was my marathon?
3:57.
Whew. Right by the hair of
Big
the gym,
difference
boys.
between 352 and 357.
Listen, dude, those are a lot of numbers to memorize.
That's like the fish is this big.
Yeah.
It's this big.
20 pounds, 6 feet. Let's talk about the fourth. Well, there's 5 dynamics of triathlon. There's the swim, the bike, the run, and how much money you spent on the bike is the fourth dynamic, which Kyle likes to work on. And then the fifth dynamic is nutrition. Does anybody here? That was another thing that we probably fucked up. Does anybody here have a nutrition plan? We're gonna go with Ras first.
Yeah, it's part of the program.
He can't sell it. Just muted himself again.
Is this one of those sections where when you look at the back of the supplement label, it just says proprietary blend and there's no information on it?
Yeah, it's like in my world we don't give information because then people steal it. So it just says like no information on it. Yeah. But like it'll tell you. But basically, and when you get the program, you'll see. But I can tell you about that section. So it comes from my own experience. I have a really strict wife when it comes to like nutrition, so like I don't get to eat much or do much fun. So when I show up to these races, they always have candy and stuff like that out there, and that's the only excuse. So I just load up on whatever they hand out, like anything, like gels, the Belgian waffles, whatever they have, all that shit. I just load up on it, and you feel good for the first hour, and then you start like pooping your pants. But at that time, you're mostly done with the race. Except the Ironman is a little longer, so I might have to revise that section a little bit and say you're gonna have to slow down a little bit in the beginning and kind of save all the goodies for later. But no, usually my nutrition is pretty good when it comes to that. Baklava pizza. That was like my last my marathon was on that.
You've
Yeah,
gained
it's
this
pretty
Clydesdale
on point.
body all throughout.
What's it against? I didn't hear you.
You've gained this Clydesdale body by only showing up to these races and eating crazy there, but nothing else.
Basically, I show up 2:15 and I like race at 2:25.
It's impressive you were able to level up a category in the middle of the race. You were able to go from Clydesdale to Super Clydesdale while going through the race. So you win 2 categories.
Straight baklava.
Just to give
No,
everybody
actually I did have baklava last time. Like when I signed up for the 100K run, and then the night before I went out, and that was also when I signed up the night before, so I wasn't really preparing for it too much. But then I had pizza and baklava, and that's when I was eating the baklava. I was like, it's kind of odd. Like this is a really crappy baklava. I can't really taste anything, and I was like, that's odd. And I didn't really think much about it anyway. And then I took the rest of the pizza with me back in my fanny pack, so I had something during the race. And I showed up in the morning, then the morning after, and then I raced. I was like, there was a certain times where I felt pretty crappy during the race, but I thought that was just because of the run. And I tested COVID that day, like positive for COVID, so they explained why the baklava actually wasn't that good. But yeah, that was my race on baklava and pizza.
give people context of how Rasmus likes to fuel. There's 2 of my favorite Rasmus fueling stories. One was we did a podcast like this that really only lasted for like 60 minutes. And Rasmus was able to eat an entire cheesecake by himself in the middle of the podcast without ever really breaking flow of conversation. It didn't look abnormal at all. And if most people had cheesecake before, you understand it's very thick and creamy, and it almost chokes you if you eat it too fast. Rasmus was like a pelican, and he swallowed them whole. So it was impressive. The second story that I have for Rasmus is we were just after this High Rocks. We showed up, and Rasmus showed up like 30 minutes late. Rasmus was able to eat all 3 of his meals in the period of time that took us 90 minutes in about 30 to 45 minutes. Milkshake.
These stories are always over exaggerated. This is not true.
No. Full strawberry milkshake, bread, margarita. I think you had a martini too. Did you have one of those martinis?
No, that was Alex.
Up to the High Rocks?
He ate my carrot cake though.
Afterwards. Carrot cake. And you had like half that bread.
Yeah, it was a good bread actually. Yeah.
He then
You
threw
don't
up
need
half
any
of this in the
nutrition
parking lot.
plan. You just eat like that during the race and you'll be fine.
That's what I thought. That's why I'm adding it to my program. Yeah.
I think your fat stores will just get you through the whole race.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Salt
betting
is
I don't
on.
think you need to eat anything.
Salt is the thing we screwed up on. I had brought one of those BOA cans and I was convinced, and then I dropped it halfway on the bike, and that was a mistake. And then what were the options out there? You had Morton gels.
Yeah, Martin. And then you had your deal that I stole in the Galveston half Ironman I did like a couple weeks ago was the Coke and pretzels on the swim
Oh yeah.
or on the run. Sorry, that was genius. I wish I had done that in Arizona. That was just something I looked at. It was like that's just the slow people have Coke and pretzels and just kind of wave and enjoy themselves. But that worked.
The last half Ironman of that race, I would stop at every single aid station, have a shot of pretzels and 2 glasses of Coca-Cola. And it felt like bathing in an orgasm. I was like, oh. Like my body was so wrecked at that point. I was like, please, more Coke, more pretzels. I will admit there is just a point that we are all going to hit again. And maybe it takes like 2 or 3 of these things or just a certain kind of like performance or training, but you'll hit it and you'll basically, it will just crush. It will crush you. And there's nothing you can do to get out of there. Like I never came back.
No,
I never came back.
You feel terrible. And it's funny because like I don't know if you were too far ahead to experience it, but on the run, it's just like a zombie land. There's just like people on the ground, like grabbing their hammies and like throwing up over trash cans. There's every reason to just like stop and follow them. But the second you slow down, like your whole body will start to just cramp and you'll just be stuck on the toilet for 20 minutes longer. It's fun. I can't wait to do it again.
So excited.
Yeah. I'm talking everyone into it.
The most daunting part for me was we were on this footpath and there were hills that maybe gained 10 feet of elevation. And I walked every single one of them because I was that beat up. And people that you just had spent so much time passing by 15 feet now passed you again. And eventually it became this just daunting task of just like, you weren't going to ever look them in the eyes. At first you were like, keep going, congrats. In the end, you were like, fuck you. Fuck you and your whole family and everyone who has cheered for you. You will die.
You don't know what I'm going through.
And they're like, you're just playing this little game of this. And everyone's going to have that person in the race. I can't wait. They're going to show up in different shapes and forms. Like mine was a little Asian lady who eventually gapped me. And the other one was this older chick that just gapped me. She like hunted me down. And those 2 people, when I saw them, I was like, and then they both beat me. They both beat me. You know,
it's grueling.
Do you think that there's an opportunity that we will all have a training camp at some point in July leading up to this thing?
100%.
Yeah.
Probably that'll be fun. Wherever we do it though.
Cabin.
Let's go to France so we can go altitude.
Houston, Texas.
Houston,
Texas.
Are we do Russ's training plan while we're doing it? Can we squeeze it into 3 days?
Yeah, we can follow my my program.
Can we do a 3-week
training camp?
But can we do it into 3 days?
3-week trial run. It's just a trial run.
Yeah, let's get some data on this thing, guys. Average air temperature 69 degrees. That's nice. Rolling, ocean. Anything else? Do you think Qatar Airs will cover our flights? Should we contact them?
Definitely contact them.
Yeah, flights are getting kind of expensive. I was looking last night.
Qatar.
Really?
It's like $1,000.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about it.
Dude, somebody needs to sit down and talk to these airlines and tell them to get effed. It is so crazy.
Qatar.
Yeah, I got to talk to them. I got to talk to Qatar. They should fly us out because we're sweet boys.
You should.
So, would you mind screen sharing real quick a map of try to bring up a map from my cabin in Crestline to Big Bear. There's 100+ mile ride that I want to do, and I want to see if you guys got the beans for it.
I'm excited to do it not on Alejandro this time.
I say we do this I've got this full plan. We do the swim. Day 1, you guys get in. We do the swim. Day 2, we wake up early in the morning. You have to go all the way around Apple Valley come up around the back of Big Bear, and then we come down Big Bear on the mountain slope, and then we run a marathon the 3rd day. And that would be all the way around the lake. I say we just do the Ironman in one weekend.
Did you steal my program right there?
That is. I just
that
told
was his
that.
program condensed into 3 days.
The Rats book. I spent the money. I can do whatever I want now.
Man, I
Ryan,
got it.
are you able to bring that up?
Yeah.
Here, guys, wait until you see this. This is a perfect plan. I say July 15th we do this, because that will be 1 month ahead of time, and at that point in time, we can start to taper off.
I'm signed
Okay.
up for a race that weekend, but I could do it.
Okay, zoom out. Okay, so basically, here's what we're going to do. You're going to see where that dot is. We're going to come down around the lake above the dot, all the way around. There's that dotted line. And it comes all the way up. This is going to be hard for me to do while you're doing this. But where Crestline is, we're going to come down, zoom over a little bit to the left. Left. Zoom out. Back again, a little bit, zoom out. We have to find a way to get this to go around the back of that lake, all the way back to the backside of Big Bear. Well, whatever. You guys can see it. Basically, it goes around that lake in the top left corner, around that green line, all the way back up to the backside of Big Bear, and then comes down the front mountain range. And that will be 120 miles for us, and probably about 6,000 to 7,000 feet of climbing.
But the way back's downhill.
Way back's downhill, guys. We're catching some of that free
big.
stuff. And that lake that's behind Crestline in the top left corner, we can do our 2.4-mile swim across the thing. I've already been in there a bunch of times when I was trying to train for a canoe sport. Let's not talk about that. And then we do the marathon run all the way around that lake. It's perfect. Or we could do it in
This thing
San
right here is
Diego.
a 5-hour drive, a 5-hour bike.
Yeah, we did that one time. Kyle had to get in the car a couple times.
Well, I was riding like single speed up a mountain. Let's not forget that. We could do this plan. That's a good plan. Or you could finally come to Houston. We go down to Galveston and we do the Ironman course there.
When is, by the way, what's the race that you guys have on the 15th? What's the race you have, Kyle?
Well, I signed up for that triathlon deal in Utah to kind of give myself a little gut check.
Do you guys just want a road trip from here to Utah and do the race?
Yes.
What race is this?
X-Tri. It's the one that puts on the Norseman. It's the same organization. It's the only one they have in the United States.
What's the distance?
Pretty much an Ironman.
Okay, cool.
Here's what
So
we do.
to get ready for an Ironman, you know what we should do? We should do an Ironman.
That's your 1-day program, Rasmus.
Yeah.
We'll do it really slow. How will we agree on this? I'm willing to sponsor that one if you guys show up. We all go do it. You have to wear a kit and you have to tattoo Builder all over your body. But if you can do that, I will cover everything. Ras, and I'm going to need you to put it all over your training plan. And let's see here. He's bringing it up. I'm really trying to make sure that we have – no.
It's the Starvation Extreme Triathlon. You're gaining I think it's almost 10,000 feet in elevation.
Starvation Extreme
Triathlon, Utah, Salt Lake City. Or not, maybe it's not Salt Lake City. It's like Park
I'm
City.
planning on absolutely destroying your guys' summer. You're going to be sore the entire summer. We might as well just do as many Ironmans as we can this summer and just get it out of the way. Dude, to do an Ironman in training for an Ironman,
it'd be nasty.
Better. I think
So
Utah in the summertime.
So it's a little less. The distance on the run is 20.9. The bike is 100 miles, and then the swim is 2.4. So that's the same.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah, you could kayak that if you want.
Do you know that it's also going to be at elevation, and it's going to be the heat of summer in Utah?
Right.
This is going to be way harder than Copenhagen. Okay, so let's wrap this thing up with a couple of good ideas and plans.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's up?
Well, I thought I was I had a new screen up. Give me 1 second.
Jake, what's the longest distance you've done so far?
I was also going to say, I've never ridden my bike more than 60 miles.
All right. Sucker.
So It's we're a good starting point. I've done a half Ironman. But I did a half in 4 hours 55 minutes.
That's good.
So if I'm just gonna take that time, double it, and that's gonna be my full Ironman time.
Oh man, I just got deja vu.
That's how things work.
That's how what I did for Arizona. If we can go back to that radio show and find a clip of my prediction, it's saddening. I still lose sleep over how bad that was.
Did you just completely overestimate yourself? You're like, I gotta.
Yeah.
Wow,
We didn't
dude,
hit that.
The swim starts at 5 a.m. in the dark.
I mean, yeah. I don't know what time we started in Arizona, but
I don't know
like
why I
6:30?
just took a whiff and it smelled like a porta potty in my room. It reminded me of the race.
That sounds like street meat.
How foul were those bathrooms going through that Ironman? Some of the dirtiest things I've ever witnessed as a human being was Ironman porta potties.
Oh, unless you get there early.
It looked like somebody had taken a bunch of snack pack pudding packs and then took a gigantic shovel and just hit it against the wall. I was amazed. I was like, how could that have come out of somebody's body at that angle?
How did your poop go up?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, this is so foul.
I think they were just trying to move really fast, and sometimes they just like kind of bump the seat and just kind of slide it on the seat. So you had to give it a little air squat. You couldn't touch it. It's disgusting.
This is a good question from Imani. Not you, Kyle, but a regular person. What do you normally do to get your bike there?
A lot of people fly them. A lot of people do. There's bike boxes and stuff. You can also go to there's services online like Bike Flight or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You arrange it. You go to a bike shop. It'll cost probably about like $100 for them to break it down, another $100 to ship it, and then another $50 or $100 to put it together. And I know that's expensive, but Ironman's like iconic for being an expensive sport in the world.
The cheapest way to do it is I would go to a bike shop. You can get like just the cardboard boxes from bikes that they've ordered. So you can get those for free. Take your bike apart, just pack it in styrofoam, and you can take it as like your checked luggage. And sometimes it costs a little more. It's like extra large luggage, but
or you could be one with the bike and just take it there right in your pass.
Or we could just fly private.
Or Erasmus, I think, is just going to buy a bike in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
That'd be the move. You guys just want to go there and I'll drop 10 G's on a bike and then just walk away?
Is that Danish crowns or is that USD?
How much did this triathlon cost us? Because we had to pay kroners. We had to pay like 5,000 kroners. And if the kroner's worth more than the dollar, that was a bad day.
I didn't even look up the exchange rate, but I'm gonna.
Dude, none of us did. We just put our credit cards down.
Whatever it is. I just had to beat you to signing it up. I don't care.
Nope. I'm gonna call Amex. I'm like, cancel this charge. I made an irresponsible decision. All right, so we all agreeing to do this. Can you click registration to see how much this costs? Because I don't want to promise to pay for people's things that I don't want.
The Utah one's like $450. It might be $500, but you can get the refundable deal, and like we can apply it to we can apply it to like the Keltman or something like that because it's the same organization.
What's the date? July 15th?
29.
It was the 29th. Yeah, 29th. That's right.
You're really planning on doing that 20 days before the real one? I don't have a reason. I don't have a reason to say no. So I don't have a good reason to say no. So if you tell me that that's what you're doing, I can't let you do it without me showing up and beating you by 20 minutes at least. Like I did last.
Come on. Oh man, my bike. I'm gonna have a way better bike. You got me by 20 in the Arizona thing. I think we're gonna duke it out. In Copenhagen.
Jake,
I think I can beat Hunter because we'll get about 20 minutes into the race and he'll say I'm not getting a world record. I'm out.
There you go.
Wow. Even my friends are chopping me down at the knees. I've never gotten so much hate on social media. There's only a couple things that I've done that have pissed off the world this much. Going to the CrossFit Games and pulling out of the High Rocks earlier on. And good God. And now it just comes from my friends.
I was really excited. I logged into the app and I opened it up
Instagram.
and I see you running and then I see you go sit down on a chair. That was the first thing I saw.
At least you witnessed that. I put on that much of a show.
He just
Yeah,
looked
dude,
at the camera. He's go, mm-mm.
Yep. I just didn't want it. I went out for
That was
gold.
good. I think the best comment was a guy I know, Tate Mitchell, was like, "This is really good. This will give Ryan Kent confidence all the way into Worlds until Hunter kicks his ass."
Yeah. A lot of haterade. My dad too. First,
Your
my dad
dad
shit on
called me and said, "What's his number? What's Alex's number? What's he doing?" I said, I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out.
Dude, we need 247 Wall Street to address the media now, right now, and talk about what Hunter did.
My dad will probably switch his entire business model just to shit on me for a week straight. All right, so
Here's what's going on in the High Rocks world. Want to know how to become a really big pussy?
All right, let me just see something here. What was that called? X-Tri?
Yeah, X-Tri Starvation Extreme Triathlon.
Okay. Just give me 2 seconds here, guys. So I want you guys to know that there's good decisions. And there's
TV's on
great
in the
decisions.
background.
Who is doing that? What is that? Are you in an office right now, Jake?
No, well, I have other people that live here.
Oh, that's
yeah.
fair.
I can mute me. Don't worry, they're nice people.
Are those the botanists?
Those are the other botanists. Yeah, they're scientists.
Okay. Are you a scientist?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We grew up on a reptilian farm.
Kyle, what did you put as
Yes.
occupation when you signed up for the Ironman?
Occupation? Beating Hunter
Yeah, like your
McIntyre.
story. You had to put in your story and your occupation, right?
Yeah. Beating Hunter McIntyre. And then I had like a 5-sentence bio about how I was going to bury Hunter.
But High Rocks world champion.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Oh,
Are
sorry.
you signing up right now, Hunter?
No, it's none of your business what I'm doing.
He's doing it.
No,
If I beat you guys in signing up for this, and then I beat you at the race, I'm just letting you guys know right now. This is gonna be a sad day for all y'all.
Rasmus, you've never done a triathlon before, right?
Me?
No, Rasmus.
Oh.
No, I have. I've done like, what do you call like the ultras, like the sprint versions, like the really short ones. And I'm doing the same as Jake. I'm just doubling the time by 8, and then thinking that's what I'm gonna do for my Ironman time. Yeah.
All I know about you, Rasmus, is that you've been in the games. How does your games experience contribute towards what you're gonna do in Copenhagen?
I think it'll carry me all the way. Yeah. Except that's like 4 years and 25 pounds ago, so that might actually not help that much.
Does anybody have any video content of Rasmus finishing the High Rocks? Because he was dead.
Yeah, I sent you that video of him laying face down. Like
no, but I've done like some
I was like
very short ones, but I haven't done it. It's been a while since I've done any of them. I've done all the distances though individually. That's part of my program. So I've done all the distances, just have never really put them together. But I figured it can't be that hard. If I can do them individually, I figure I can also put them together.
All right, guys, I'm signed up. What the flying fuck is going on with this thing?
We should lift before the race, one of the races too. Like do the deadlift, bench, squat combo.
That's a good idea.
Do a powerlifting competition day before.
Yeah, like 4 a.m.
Uh-huh.
I used to have a coach that always said, like, no matter how tired you are, you always have to go squat after you're done with the competition to show your competitors that you are above them. Yeah. It's actually true. I'm not even kidding.
I like that. Work on tired legs.
He was a good
That was
coach.
the best thing Hunter said. I was like, when we were talking about Arizona, how are you training for Arizona for the run piece? Like, you're not going to know. He's like, dude, I've been racing on tired legs my whole life. I'll be fine. And I think your prediction, Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong, was like 3:20 for the marathon?
Yep. I was close. I just not close enough. Man, I'm not gonna lie, guys. This is really confusing on how to sign up for.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's because of my number. It won't let me put my number in. All right. Well, I'm going to sign up for this thing and I'm going to get it done. Can we all agree that if I spend $450 right now, that there's at least over a 50% chance that you other guys will show up?
Yeah, this is the Starvation try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
July
Why is it
29th.
called Starvation Try? Like,
I'm
you
already
can't eat or
ready.
drink like during the try? Is that what it is?
It's
definitely sounds
debatably harder
scarier.
than the Ironman. Yeah.
I think it's because of the location. I think it happens to be at a lake. It's called Starvation Lake in Park City. I think it's on the other side. And by the way, if it's really done up there, I want you guys to be aware of the fact that it's all going to be done at like 5,000 to 7,000 feet.
Easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
I think it's about 7,000 because you're gaining 4,000 on the I think on the run, and that
Gaining
gets you to
4,000 feet.
Yeah, that gets you to almost 10,000 feet. You're at 9.8.
And by the way, it is baking hot in July in Park City.
Should we do single speed bikes?
100%.
Uh-huh.
100%.
All right.
I'm leveling up on this thing. Okay, guys. Well, I appreciate everyone coming onto the show. I really am not going to lie. The entire existence of my life, for the rest of my life, is going to be signing up for races like this. And I appreciate that I found some fun people that are willing to do this. Kyle was my first friend to join the crew. Now Rasmus was the second guy who, first time I ever met Rasmus and we did a workout, he showed up with a box of ketones that a sponsor had sent to him. You're probably only supposed to drink a half of one of these things. He drank at least 6 of them throughout the middle of the strength workout. And he was negotiating with me whether or not we were going to go to North Korea and do the North Korean marathon. And
We should, by the way, we could actually sign up for that right now in this podcast too. That would be kind of funny.
No, that one's in April, right before a championship. But everything else you can negotiate with. So there's that. And then Jake the Snake met me on the side of the road and stole my heart.
Oh yeah, ever since.
Yep, stole my heart.
Bike ride buddies.
Boys, I'm just going to keep on posting about races that I'm signing up for, and I'm going to keep it in the group. So I appreciate you guys showing up and having a good time with me today. When do I see you guys next?
Training camp, July.
Manchester.
Copenhagen.
Manchester. Jake, are you going to Manchester?
I'm not going to Manchester though.
Jake's not coming. Rasmus, are you coming to Manchester?
What's in Manchester again?
Did you qualify? Did your time qualify you for World Championships at High Rocks?
Yeah, beat you, so I would obviously imagine it did.
It did. By 4 seconds. It's such bullshit. I literally walked up on the stage together, but all of a sudden you look at our scores and he beat me by 4 seconds. I was pretty disappointed. All right, crew.
Good.
I'll hit you guys up later. Thanks for showing up today. Everybody else who showed up, thank you guys so much for paying attention. If you guys want to keep track of what we're doing, we'll be posting a ton about it on social media. If you guys want to get involved in anything that we got going on, house training for the training, and builder sports for any kind of supplements that you guys are looking for to get you guys supported from race to race or training session to training session.
Should we put a link to my program in the description so people can buy it if they want to train for an Ironman?
I'm an amateur triathlete, so if you guys want to get professional triathlete training, let's hit up Ras. And also, I want you guys to know that Ras did beat me in High Rocks. So if you want a High Rocks coach, he's probably the guy to look to now.
Yeah, absolutely as well. I agree.
All right, Morningwood, I'm out of here. Guys, I'll catch up with you soon.
All right,
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Talk to y'all soon.
See you, boys.
Bye.